Can we meet you, sir?
My name is Dr. Ferdnand Osuagwu. I'm the president and the founder of Ferdnand Foundation International, which is a charity organization that is domiciled at Michigan. And I'm also the vice chairman of Department of Psychiatry of My Michigan Health, which is a subsidiary of University of Michigan Healthcare System. And I'm also an assistant clinical professor of psychiatry at Central Michigan University. And I am their clerkship director.
Can you tell us what inspired the creation of Ferdnand Foundation International?
So Ferdnand Foundation International was a vision that was rooted in the need for having a platform that can be used to reach out to the marginalized, widows, youths, to also advocate for mental health and also help substance abuse users. I had a team and we had this vision for a very long time and had activities that we have been doing on an informal basis. We just decided in 2024 to formalize it and put up a formal structure, which led to the creation of Ferdnand Foundation to actually reach out to the marginalized communities and marginalized people within the society.
I mean, it's 2 years later after this foundation started, and this is beautiful because the foundation is celebrating a very big milestone. How does it feel looking back at the journey so far, sir?
So the past 2 years has been quite interesting, and it is a bundle of joy to clock these 2 years, and also with humility in terms of more activities that we still hope to be able to achieve. But these 2 years has been a very profound 2 years that is laden with a lot of impactful projects which we have done. And we are proud of our volunteers, our people that are working with us, and their sacrifice in making sure that they reach out to the group of people that we've been working with, especially among the underserved and marginalized communities.
Do you want to share some of the foundation activities, sir?
So the foundation has activities that comes under many portfolio. We have our educational activities, we have our health activities, we also have our advocacy activities, and then we also have activities that aim to empower people. Under the educational activities, we have the Ferdnand Foundation Scholars Program, which is running towards its third year this year. We started in 2024, we did the 2025 version, and we'll be having another one in 2026 on June 24th, to be precise. And what this Scholars Program has done is to help empower youth, and we also specifically target youth who are in resource poor areas, and we give them awards and scholarships and also provide mentorship for them to kind of empower these kids, to give them something to look forward to, something to work towards. And also we also give out awards and stipends to the teachers who are people who have been working with these children, to also encourage them, to let them know that their activities in trying to train the future generation is not something that is not recognized. Now, we also have empowerment program that we have done because we believe that we need to have a portfolio that helps people to actually build themselves up. We have the Women Empowerment Program that allowed women to have access to resources that they can use to help fend for themselves. We have given materials to women such as chairs and stuff that they can rent out to raise money and raise funds, which is, plowed back into their families and helping to feed their children. We also have a Gari processing factory in a village in Obizi in Imo State, where women are encouraged to use to process their post-processing of the Gari that they sell. And then the income that comes from there is also plowed back into their family. We have also instituted health advocacy programs where we advocate for on major health issues and also engage in education on a constant basis about major health issues. We had a very wonderful event this year that targeted autistic children, created a lot of informational materials that people can use, and also We also had one that targeted people who have TB, tuberculosis, and leprosy, and many other things. Now, we also do a lot of advocacy for climate change because that is a subject that is very, very dear to me. Having had experience of working with the American Psychiatric Association as the chairman of the Climate Change and Mental Health from 2023 to 2025, I also served in the Committee for Climate Change and Mental Health of the American Psychiatric Association. And knowing fully well with the changes that are going on in the world today in terms of climate change is an area that we keep advocating for change in policy and also helping people to understand ways that they can cope with climate change issues and how it might affect our society at large.
This is actually very awesome because, seeing these several impactful activities, I can say that Ferdnand Foundation has actually reached a lot of audience. And thank you for sharing once again. But one thing I think many people have actually admired about the foundation is commitment, to community outreach. But can you tell us more about your humanitarian activities? The communities you have reached in the course of these 2 years?
So we've done humanitarian activities in a lot of the communities that we work with. And like I said before, most of our targeted communities are the people who they will not really have a lot, at their beck and call. And these are people who are in resource poor areas. We do have a community that does not have adequate library and reading materials, and we're able to help to facilitate a hall and a library in the community in Omumbaruhe in Imo State. And this is something that we hoped would incentivize the children and the youth and the people of the community to have a place of gathering and also a place for the children where they can go and study and read to also help them to empower themselves. We believe that a young mind is a mind that needs to be cultured and nurtured at a very early age to help them to understand that there are great potentials and great opportunities that abound. And if they're able to tap into this will be able to launch them into great pinnacle in terms of their career aspirations and other stuff like that. We have also done infrastructural projects like putting on solar street lights in Umire, in Obizi, in Imo State. And the idea behind this solar street light was because we felt like the children, when they were commuting, going from place to place, it was pitch dark and there were security issues. And we felt that there was need to actually make sure that they had a very good lighting in the night that can allow them to be able to play out at night and also go from place to place without being afraid of the pitch darkness and not being able to do any activities later on in the night.
So, education and youth empowerment appear to be the key focus area for the foundation from what you have said so far. What specific projects have been implemented in this regard?
So in terms of our youth empowerment and educational portfolio, the Scholars Program is still one of our flagship projects. And then we give our scholarships to people who are unable to pay for their school fees, who are unable to fend for themselves in their schools. And we also provide mentorship activities whereby we try to pair these children with their peers who have received these awards in the past to kind of encourage them. Now, we do know that there is a lot of substance abuse issues that is becoming almost like a scourge in some of our remote rural areas. And this is stemming from the fact that most of these children do not see an outlet. They feel like because things are so difficult and tough for them, they don't aspire to things greater than what they are seeing in their environment. Now, giving these children an opportunity, giving them words of encouragement, and also helping to educate them about the dangers of use of drugs has been helping to actually help them to channel their energy positively towards that. We did have a lecture in September last year, which we titled the Herbert and Clara Osuagwu Lecture for Substance Abuse Issues, where we brought youth together to actually give them events where the dangers of substance abuse was talked about. It's very interesting to note that the reception to this was well received by these children. For most people who are older citizens, what they know as substance abuse is mainly use of cannabis, marijuana, and things like that. But things have evolved. We have more dangerous substances which the youth are using now. Methamphetamine is one of them. We have people who are lacing and spicing marijuana. And these are things that have derailed countless number of youths in the rural areas. And we are working really hard to keep this encouragement, public enlightenment campaign to actually get them to understand that there is danger inherent in the use of these drugs. And for some of these youths, they will tell you that use of marijuana is harmless, that it's a grass, it's natural, and give you all sorts of rationale why they should use it. But what we do know scientifically is that most of the time it ends up being a gateway medication or a gateway drug which they use to now launch into harder and much more dangerous, substances like meth, cocaine, heroin, and things like that. And because this is carefully sold to them by people who want to derail them, some of these kids, fall into the trap. However, with good public enlightenment campaign, we are able to actually help to stem the tide. We've had lectures given by the special advisor to Imo State Governor on substance abuse and narcotics, Chief Ezechukwu Obona. We say thank you to him, which is one of our work that we've done and partnered with him and the office of the state governor to make sure that we have these lectures and have these children trying to talk to them about the dangers of use of this substance of abuse.
I mean, this sounds so meaningful. I can tell that it's a meaningful journey so far, right? But then I know that every meaningful journey comes with challenges. What have been some of the major challenges that the foundation has actually faced, and how have they been able to overcome them over the years?
That's a very good question. Just like every human organization, there are bound to be challenges and ups and downs. In terms of challenges, we do have more people who are in dire need of resources, and sometimes funding becomes an issue for us to be able to carry out the work that we are doing. Currently, most of the funding for the foundation comes from me, and it has been self-funded. I do have an army of volunteers who work with me, and we've been able to make carry out most of our activities based on the funding which I have provided so far. We are hoping that down the road, we might be able to attract funds from other agencies. But in the interim, we do not intend to stop the work that we are doing. We'll still continue to provide the funds to help carry out these activities of the foundation. Now, another issue is partnering with government agencies. There is a lot of bureaucratic bottlenecks you have to go through sometimes, trying to explain to them what you're trying to do, and the fact that it's a non-partisan organization that is just out to actually bring smiles to the face of our people. And sometimes the paperwork and the bureaucratic hoops that you have to jump through could be sometimes daunting, but we have an army of volunteers who are so fired up and willing to, walk through all this and make sure that we get the results that we are looking for.
How has the foundation actually organized medical outreaches over the time? Health awareness programs, have there been any? Or do you want to tell us about them?
So in December 2024, we had an outreach in the village whereby we did health enlightenment campaign, and part of that health enlightenment campaign was targeted towards women, and we talked about communicable diseases and the ways they can go about helping to prevent this. And as we know, health is wealth. Prevention is better than cure, as they say, and the idea is to bring these educational materials to a level which these people can understand, and also make it culturally appropriate, for them to be able to apply it to their everyday life. We also partnered with Dr. Nwachukwu in 2024, and then to do an outreach in Mbutu, in Mbise, and he was gracious enough to bring the medications which was given out to the people free of charge. Interestingly, one of our volunteers, whose name is Vanessa Osuagwu, who is also a registered nurse and works with the foundation, was there in the forefront as this health outreach was being done. And one of the things that we noticed is that a lot of the people at the end of the day have to make very harrowing choices. Should they buy medications or should they buy food? Because the resources are not just there, and then you're telling somebody who makes less than 50 cents a day to come and buy blood pressure medications consistently that they will have to use every day. So sometimes people don't have those resources and they need help from people outside. And we are always open to partnership with people who are willing to also help in carrying out this health enlightenment campaigns and medical outreaches to help these individuals whom we are working with.
What would you say has been the foundation's proudest achievement in this past 2 years?
Okay, that's a very good question. There have been great highlights of this foundation, and there are so many. But for me, one of the things that is close to my heart, which I've derived so much joy, and the team also see, is a scholars Ferdnand Foundation Scholars Award Program, which we do annually. Having these children who go to public schools in rural area with poor resources from marginalized families, poor homes, being told that, hey, if you do well in school, come either first, second, or third, Ferdnand Foundation will reward you by giving you an award, cash award, backpacks, book materials, and educational materials. And having them actually climb the stage to receive this award and seeing the joyful look on their faces and the expectant look on their faces, it's a beauty to behold. One of the things we noticed was that the kids who won the first time, the inaugural edition, their peers were so incentivized. The peers who did not win were so incentivized that they worked extra hard to try to make sure they get on the list of the kids who are winning. And this has also set up this exciting competitive spirit within these children to be the best that they can. And seeing them doing this, it's great to see that. And also seeing the women in the community whom we have reached out to and helped, and seeing how they are able to plow back whatever empowerment they got and the training that they got in improving the economic outlook of their families is great. And as you all know, if a woman is well empowered, the family are the main beneficiaries of those empowerments. And also, the young people who work with my team, having them be in the forefront and making decisions, it's something that I love to watch whenever we meet together and gather. Interestingly, the logo of the foundation was designed by Ms. Vanessa Osuagwu, which everybody sees it and see and talk great things about it. And I also have so many other volunteers who work and make sure that everything works out well.
So thank you very much. You've mentioned financing, and you mentioned that the bulk of it actually came from you and some volunteers around. And I can also actually tell that no organization succeeds alone. How important are volunteers, partners, and supporters been to the success of Ferdnand Foundation International?
So the volunteers are actually very, very, very important, because without them, we can't do anything. I mean, you can bring the money, but the money is not going to get to the end product to implement change at the local levels and work with the people that you want to reach out to. And most of these volunteers are working with altruistic hearts to make sure things are done appropriately. And without the volunteers, the foundation will not be able to get the job that we are doing currently. And I say thank you to each and every one of them.
What message would you like to share with individuals or organizations who may be interested to partner or maybe support the foundation?
Ferdnand Foundation is willing to go out there to continue to help, and we need support and help from as many people as we can get. And also, we are willing to partner with any like-minded individuals who want to bring smile and also help the underserved. We all have something to give. Our lives has been given to us, and before we leave this earth, my belief is that we should be able to leave a legacy and reach out to other people. At the end of the day, what makes us great as individuals is the amount of people whose life we touch positively. And I will encourage anybody who is willing to partner to come and work with us as we will continue to forge ahead in Ferdnand Foundation. And also, more importantly, I also like to thank my family that has stood there by me. My children who have done great things in making sure this works, and my soulmate, Rosemary, who has done fantastic work to make sure that she works behind the scene to get most of the things we need to get done for the foundation to be well implemented. And many other people whom I can't, remember all of their names now. Thank you, everyone, for helping us.
And so, as the foundation marks its second anniversary, what's the vision for the future? What should people expect in the coming years?
So, in terms of the future, we are hoping to expand our portfolio. We started as pilot project in Imo State. We are expanding into other states, and we are hoping to have something in each of the geopolitical zones of the country, and also expand into Africa, and also continue the work we are doing in the United States of America. By September this year, we'll be having suicide prevention activities in Michigan, and we are hoping to be in the forefront of that for this year. And if we have more funds, we are hoping to also launch some of our activities in the Caribbean.
Are there any upcoming initiatives that you're particularly excited about, or projects?
Yes. I've talked about the Scholars Foundation, which we are doing. Now, the foundation, we also like to reach out to the Loyola College in Ibadan to organize Ferdnand Foundation International Scholars Program for Loyola College also. But this is something that we are still trying to work out the nooks and the fine details on how to implement this and get this launched.
What final message would you like to give to anyone or everyone celebrating this special occasion with you today?
So my final message is that at Ferdnand Foundation, we are excited to continue to forge ahead, and we invite like-minded people to partner with us. And I also like to encourage everyone who is hearing this, this clarion call, that we can be the agent of change. We don't have to play the back, take the back seat and leave things. If we don't act and make ourselves the agent of change, no change will come out. And more importantly, each and every one of us should understand that if our lives is not an outreach to help other people and reach out to them, it is not a life that is meaningful. We need to reach out to people and help and assist.
So thank you so much for sharing this beautiful journey and inspiring journey with us, with the incredible work you've actually been doing with Ferdnand Foundation International. And once again, I want to say congratulations to you on your second anniversary.
Thank you.
We celebrate your impact, your dedication, and your commitment to changing life and building stronger communities. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you.